Hello everyone, you're welcome back again. We are going to solve for the value of x from this cubic equation. We call this cubic equation because the highest power of the variable is 3. So our expectation is to get 3 possible solutions that will satisfy this equation. So to solve this equation, the first thing we need to do is to rewrite this equation in cubic standard form, starting from the one that have the highest power. And here we have x to power 3. And remember, this negative is attached to x to power 3. So we're going to have negative x to the power of 3, then followed by the next power, which is power 2, and this power 2 is positive, so we're going to have positive x to power 2. Then this constant here we are going to take it to the left hand side, and remember it's positive here. When it crosses this equality sign, it becomes negative 12, so everything will be equal to 0 because there's nothing remaining in the right hand side. So the equation now is in cubic equation standard form. So the next thing we are going to do is to do manipulation. Remember, there are many methods of solving cubic equation, but in this video we are going to use factorization method. And if you look at the term 1, 2, 3, there are just 3 terms. To make it 4 terms, we are going to do manipulation to this middle. Do you know that when we say negative 2x squared plus 3x squared, this is going to give us x squared. So 3x squared minus 2x squared, just that we are taking it, just like we are taking away 2x squared from 3x squared to just remain only 1x squared. So this is equivalent to x squared. So in place of x squared, in the middle term here, we are going to replace negative 2x squared plus 3x squared. So we are going to have negative x to power 3. So the whole of this become negative 2x square, then plus 3x square, then minus this constant, so everything will be equal to 0. So we do this for convenience so that we can do factorization by grouping. So what we're going to do is to group the first 2 terms, then we also group the last 2 terms. So now we're going to factorize. So if you look at this bracket, what is common here? X to power 3, x to power 2. So we factor out the one that have least power. So x to power 2 is common. So we factor out x to the power of 2. So now, because of this negative, negative is also common. So we factor out negative. Now we open bracket. So now we are going to divide. Negative x to power 3 divided by negative x to power 2. It will just remain positive x to the x, just x, because x to power 1, which is the same as x. Then negative 2x to power 2 divide negative x to power 2. Negative will cancel negative. X to power 2 will cancel x to power 2. So it will just remain positive 2. Then plus. Now here we are going to factor out the common. What is common here? If you consider the variable, there is x here, there is no x here, so the variable is not common. So we have 3, and 3 can go into 12, so therefore 3 is common. So we are going to factor out 3, then we open bracket. 3x squared divided by 3, it will just remain x squared. Then negative 12 divided by 3 is going to give us negative 4. So everything will be equal to 0. So the next thing we're going to do is to rewrite minus x to power 2 into x plus 2, then plus 3 into x raised to the power of 2 minus. This 4 can also be written as 2 raised to the power of 2, so that we can have difference of 2 squared, which is equal to 0. So the next step we are going to recall is when we have a squared minus b squared, this can be factorized as a plus b, then multiplied by a minus b. So this is equivalent to this. And if you look at this bracket, it's in form of this. So we want to write it in form of this. So we're going to have negative x squared into x plus 2, then plus 3 into this can be factorized as this. So we're going to have x plus 2, then multiply by what? X minus 2. So we close all the bracket, which is equal to 0. Now remember, this is together and this is together. So we check again between these 2 terms what is common. As you can see, we have x plus 2 here, and also we have x plus 2 here. So therefore x plus 2 is common. So we're going to factor out x plus 2. So also we have negative here, and here is positive. Negative of this and this is positive of this. So we're going to factor out negative also. Then we open another bracket. So here in the first term, negative will cancel this negative. X plus 2 will cancel this x plus 2. So we are left with just x to the power of 2. And here, negative multiplied by positive is going to be what? Negative. Then x plus 2 here will cancel this x plus 2. It will remain just this 3 and this bracket, which is what? X minus 2. Then everything will be equal to 0. So now the next thing we're going to do, we need to work on this inside bracket. So we have negative x plus 2, then we open the bracket, we open this bracket. So we have x to the power of 2. Negative 3 multiplied by x is going to give us negative 3x. The negative 3 multiplied by negative 2 is going to give us positive 6. So everything will be equal to 0. Now remember, this negative will factor out this negative. We need to change the sign by eliminating this negative. So what will help us is just to divide both sides by -1 so that this negative can cancel. This is multiplication, so everything can be together. So we divide the whole left hand side by -1 and also the right hand side by -1. So in order for us to eliminate this negative, so the whole expression in the left hand side will become x plus 2 then multiply by x squared minus 3x plus 6. Everything will be equal to 0 divided by -1 is the same as 0. So as you can see, two term is multiply itself to give us 0. So when you have two term multiply itself to give us 0, it's either the first term x plus 2 equal to 0 or x squared minus 3x plus 6 equal to 0. So here we have x now will be equal to, when we take this positive 2 to the left, to the right hand side become -2. So therefore, this is one of the solution. X is equal to -2. Now we want to get the remaining solution from here. As you can see, this is quadratic equation. So we want to get the remaining solution. In solving quadratic equation, we have many methods of solving quadratic equation, but let's quickly use formula method because this is hard to factorize. It will waste our time to factorize. So we're going to quickly use formula method. So we set the coefficient of the leading coefficient, which is A, is going to be 1. So B now will be equal to the coefficient of the middle term, which is -3. Then C, which is the constant, is going to be positive 6. And we're going to recall quadratic formula. We see that when we are looking for x will be equal to minus b, then plus or minus square root of square root of b square minus 4ac everything over 2a. So with the help of this data, we can easily substitute to this formula so that we are going to have x now will be equal to minus b, and we have -3. It's going to be minus into b, which is -3, then plus or minus square root of b square, which is going to be what? -3 all square minus 4 into a. A is 1, then multiply by c, and c is 6. So everything all over 2 multiplied by a, and a is 1. So x now will be equal to negative multiplied by -3 is going to give us +3 plus or minus square root of -3 square is going to give us 9. Then minus 4 multiplied by 1 is the same as 4. Then 4 multiplied by 6 is going to give us 24. So everything all over 2 multiplied by 1 is the same as 2. So the next step is to went further to simplify. So we're going to have 3 plus or minus square root of 9 minus 15 is going to 9 minus 24 is going to give us -15. Then everything all over 2. So no need for us to even go further from here because as you can see, square root of -15 is going to give us complex solution, and complex solution is not a real number. So this is going to be what? 3 plus of square root of -15 over 2, or 3 minus square root of -15 over 2. So this is supposed to be the second value of x, and this is supposed to be third value of x. So because this is complex solution and what we are looking for is real number, so we can just conclude that uh, this is a complex a complex solution, because we are going to get I. If you take the square root of negative 15, we are going to get I of something. So, and x from here is not an element of a real number. So therefore, we are going to ignore these two solutions. So therefore, is this x is equal to minus 2 is only solution that will satisfy this equation. Now we want to check if truly the x is the same as negative to satisfy the equation. To check that, we need to copy our original equation, which is what? X to power 2 minus x to power 3 is equal to 12. So we're going to recopy the original equation, which is x to power 2 minus x to power 3, which is equal to 12. Now let's substitute x is equal to minus 2 to this equation, whether the left hand side is going to be the same as the right hand side. So x to power 2, in place of x, we are going to replace negative 2, then all to power 2, minus, in place of x here, we replace negative 2, all to power 3. So now, minus 2 square imply minus 2 multiplied by minus 2 is going to give us positive 4, then minus negative 2 raised to the power of 3. This imply negative 2 multiple negative 2 multiple negative 2. So we're going to have 4 minus negative 2 multiplied by negative 2 is going to give us positive 4. Then positive 4 multiplied by negative 2 is going to give us negative 8. So this is going to be equal to what? 4 negative multiplied by negative 8 is going to give us positive 8. And 4 plus 8, of course, is going to be 12. So as you can see, the left hand side at x is equal to negative 2 is the same as the right hand side. So therefore, we can conclude generally that the only solution that satisfies this equation is x is equal to negative 2. Thank you for watching, and please follow us for more video like this. Thanks.